Good morning, hey guys, what's up? Trying to get Rachel on, and I don't see her face. Oh, hang on, she's waving now. We're gonna bring her on. All right, there she is.
Sorry, I forgot to turn the camera on.
I was ready to pull it up, and I thought, you know what? There's nothing there.
I'm here, I didn't want to be seen. What can I say?
You're seen now by a lot of people. You just would have been seen by me, but that's okay.
Now everyone can see. We're good. It's a good start to a Friday, right?
Yeah. Good morning.
So good morning. Good
How
morning.
are you?
Good morning, my dear. How have you been?
Rushing around this morning, but it's all good. I'm here.
I get that. It's been an interesting morning so far, but hey.
I didn't know if you had gotten my text message. I was like 8:00 this morning.
Yes, I wrote you back. I said, okay, we're good.
You did? All right.
You know, we don't have to rush today, so we're good. At least so far.
Yeah. I think that's what you did. I see you're okay. I just saw it now. I get it in my head. Thanks. Oh, we don't have to rush today. So don't do that to me next time.
Okay. Next time I will tell you we need a rush. I need to be somewhere.
Yeah. And then you hop on the show. Oh, you know what? Guess what? We don't need to rush.
Guess what? We do need a rush. No, just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you.
Or guess what? We don't need to rush once the show starts.
We're good. We're good. I'll tell you either way. I'll keep you updated.
Awesome. It's a mindset thing. It really is. It's in your head. Like, oh, I'm good. We got time. We don't have to start 10 minutes early today to rush off by 8:15.
Next week, I promise I'll let you know. Either way. Next week, though, I think I do have a meeting at 8:30. So just to keep you informed. Today, no. Next week, probably. Yes.
So good morning, everyone. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I just got the Facebook notification that we're live.
Oh, sweet.
How long have we been live now? For like 1 or 2 minutes, and I just got the notification. It's a little delay.
5 minutes, 12 seconds, 13 seconds. When did you get that? I know, I could keep counting.
Don't keep counting. I'm just saying I just got it right now. So Facebook is on a lag or a delay or something. But isn't that what happens with Doug's lives? He goes live and like 10 or 15 minutes later, I get the notification. Oh, he's live.
We should just go live with the beginning part. And we'll just like talk in the beginning before you see our faces. And then, run the rock music that StreamYard has.
It's definitely interesting.
We'll run it for 5 minutes before we hop on. So that way it gives people time to get the notification.
We're good.
I was joking. Go ahead.
No. What I was going to say was for this upcoming weekend, it's actually really, really packed. with a whole lot of things to do. So I'm glad that today is just lax and we don't have to rush and we can actually get into our topic at a good pace, because all this weekend, it's just, it's crazy. I have a lot of things to do this weekend. And I was telling you about some of the things that I've been doing this past week, and I'm so glad we talked about change. That's the topic of the morning show today, is how do we deal with change? Because that's something that you've been through. That's something that I've very recently went through. So
yeah,
it's a good topic for us to discuss. And how do we handle it with our daily lives, and crazy, hectic lives that we live?
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
just say that in a nice way.
Change is not easy.
It's not.
Now I can see people. Good morning. Okay, I don't know why Facebook does this. I post it public the night before. When it goes live, it doesn't go public. It goes to friends. So then I have to go in and change it. That's what I was just doing. As soon as I saw comments. As soon as I change it to public, now I can see the comments in StreamYard. Awesome.
There you go.
Good morning. Good morning, Teresa, Valerie.
Teresa, Val. Alicia.
Alicia.
Gosh, I haven't seen
Mark.
Alicia in forever. Hi, Alicia.
Awesome.
We need to invite
guys.
the whole world to something again, to get together.
Oh, boy.
So we can see everyone again. So, Angie, when's the next event at your house?
Not yet.
Not yet? You aren't going to invite the whole world yet. Got it.
I'd like to do maybe a summer party.
Ooh. All right,
but I don't know if I really want to do like in the middle of summer. Maybe I would say May, but May makes me a little nervous because it's like I want it to be like a nice warm day, and May can be weird.
Okay, so then do June, like right after school. So celebration at the beginning of summer.
Out of school bash.
There you go. Out of school bash or beginning of summer bash.
That's going to be really weird. Weren't you out of school like over 20 years ago?
We'll talk with the kids. We'll talk with Carissa, Sienna. We're good.
Yeah.
So, oh, look, Val saying she sees Alicia every Wednesday night. Lucky. We're missing out on something.
Now that's bull crap.
We're missing out on something. Our friends are meeting and I'm not included. It's all good.
Can't be included.
I'm on the eastern side of the state. People keep forgetting about the eastern side of the state. Everything happens over the other side.
Central.
We're left by ourselves over here.
South Central. And Central.
There you go. We'll put it like that. It's basically where from Harrisburg over is where all the action happens. Or I should say Lebanon.
No, Lancaster.
A couple of our friends live in Lebanon, so Lebanon over.
Yeah, and Lancaster.
Nothing happens near me. Everybody travels out that way and beyond. I'm starting to get everybody over near me.
That's a sign. You need to move.
No, you guys need to move closer to where I am. All the action needs to start happening over here.
Do you know since we've moved back in August that I'm now closer to Gettysburg than I am to you? That's just weird.
That says something. You used to live closer to me and then you moved.
It takes 1 hour to get to Gettysburg. 1 hour, 5 minutes, something like that.
So you actually live closer to the battlefield than what you were when you were living in, you were considered Berks, right?
Berks County, yeah.
I was just thinking of the county. Yeah. Well, then that's maybe something we can do. We can meet up with everybody and take a tour of the battlefield.
You could.
I like that. I would like to do it again. That was really neat when I went on that tour with Doug when he was doing it. It was really nice. It was a lot of history to be learned. He's really good at that.
That was a lot of fun. It just stinks we weren't on the same tour.
Well, you should have waited for me.
I think at that time I wasn't really sure. Like, it was just all kind of new.
It was.
Right?
It was. All of that was. I mean, if you think about it, I think you went in 2020, didn't you?
Yeah, August 2020. End of August of 2020.
Yep. Before we even knew where we would have ended up right now. That was a
Justin
long
just
time ago.
goes, I'll go to Gettysburg. Okay.
There you go. I say we all go. I mean, it would be a really great day. I would love to tour it again.
We should plan a trip.
Chris has a bus company. We're just putting him out there on the spot. We can use Epic Tours and we can go. I think it'll be fun.
I mean, I can meet you there unless you just want to pit stop in Elizabethtown. Just to have the experience of a bus.
Exactly. I've never been on one of those buses. I think it'd be cool. No, wait, I did when I was a kid. For the tour or for the field trips that we went on when we were in elementary school. But
yeah.
Since then, no. So it'd be cool to be on one again. But
awesome. We can definitely chat about it. All right.
Okay.
15 minutes in, let's start our topic. You know, Rach said that we were going to start our topic early, and I just bunny trailed like I always do.
Sorry. Hi, Raylene. I just saw Raylene on Tuesday.
She said, how do you look so good this early in the AM? Well,
that's all Angie. That's not me.
We're going to take that as compliments because I feel like I look tired.
I think we can all say we look tired after this week. We've done a lot.
It's been a busy
week. A lot.
I'm like, what? It's Friday?
TGIF. We're just going to say it's going to be a great day. Change.
Took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say TGIF. I was like, do you remember when we used to say TGIF?
And the lineup when we had another squirrel, sorry. The lineup we used to watch on TGIF at night. Oh, that was so much fun. I think it was Full House and Family Matters and Step by Step. And there was another lineup to that. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Okay, I didn't watch that one.
That was a good lineup. Sorry, squirrel, we said TGIF.
Yeah. Change.
Yes, go ahead.
How do we handle change? You know, I feel like, I don't know about you, but I've been able to handle change a lot better since we had the carpet pulled out from underneath us on March 13th of 2020. Oh yeah, by the way, if y'all didn't see my happy anniversary a couple days ago, that was because it was our 2-year anniversary of 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Quote.
Yes.
2 years to flatten the curve. I mean, we just keep going. But my point is that I guess we go with change. Let's go back to that because change is not easy. Change is really hard.
Yes.
And I personally can speak from experience, but prior to March of 2020, I hated change. Like I didn't like it at all. And even though I would put myself in positions sometimes to change, I didn't like it. And it made me really uncomfortable and not in a good way. In fact, I was for 12 years, I marketed wholesale travel packages. That's what I did. I led leadership teams. I hosted training calls, presentation calls. I was a businesswoman / stay-at-home mom. My kids went to school full-time in public school system. I had a routine for 12 years. And that routine, and we traveled a lot though. I mean, like when I say I love traveling. That's what we did. That was amazing. That was fun. But my point in saying this tonight, my point in sharing this, we talked about like the evening shows and I went tonight, this morning. The reason why I'm sharing this is because back then I thought, oh, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I'm going to retire. My kids are going to graduate from public school. They're going to go to prom. I had all of this stuff lined up on how it was going to be. And then things started just going, like bombs being set off. Mm-hmm. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And all of a sudden, even though I wanted to, for example, move to Lancaster County for 6 years, it was a thought in my head. Oh yeah, we're going to move. I really want to go there. That kind of thing. And I kept putting it out there that that's what I wanted to do. I just never thought that everything else, I figured I got to wait till after Carissa graduates. And then then I'll move there for a few years. Then I'll go to Florida, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The point that I'm making is we have these plans in our minds. We have it, and we go, okay, this is what my life's going to look like. It's not going to change. It's always going to be this way. Reality is that's not reality. It's not life.
No, it's not.
And I think that even though I was going through some changes a little bit before 2020 hit, still trying to figure it all out. Of course, I started coaching, love coaching. I had speaking engagements that were starting to line up. Things were moving the direction that I thought, wow, this is great. Like, the kids are still in public school though, because I had more flexibility, right? And then March of 2020, change. And it was abrupt.
Yes, it was.
I guess my question, Rach, at this point is, how did you handle that? And we're going to go, and not to talk about again, I hope that people learn to understand, like, this is about the shutdown. No, there's a point to this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that since March of 2020, our lives have been abruptly changed. So my question is, how are we dealing with change now in other areas of our lives since that has happened? Is it easier or is it harder?
I like how you phrase that. Is it easier or is it harder? A lot of things that we have all been through, we could actually take that route and say it has absolutely been harder because things have been made harder on us. And how we choose to react to how, I'm going to say, the new life is presented to us, because unfortunately it's not going to go back to the way that we knew it. It's just not. I think a majority of the people, not saying, who listens to us or who we know, have gotten accustomed to what the world is trying to push, but it's majority of the people, they become accustomed to this new way. And it doesn't take long for people to become accustomed to something new. And if they're accustomed to this new way of life, they're not going to remember what it used to be. When this all first happened, it would have very easily been, like, for most people, just to be like, we're going to shut down. We don't know what's happening, to be very scared. I think we've all had those emotions too, but to overcome them and to be able to say, okay, God, now what's my place in life? What is really going on? And I think that's the key, is when life gets harder, life throws you the curveball, not to try to handle it on your own, but to always go to God in prayer. Mm-hmm. And when I did that at the beginning of all this, before we even knew what was to happen, I fell on my knees and I prayed. And I said, Lord, please reveal to me what is truly going on. What's with all this change? What's really happening? And when you ask, you do receive. And I was in prayer every single day that week. And it continued into the week after. And he was revealing bits and pieces of what was to come and what was to be thrown at us, but also saying at the same time, I have your hand. It's going to be okay. This is what I'm going to be using you for. Now, mind you, at that time, I was still teaching in a brick and mortar school. And when you ask, there's a reason I'm going down this hole, but there's a reason I'm going down here. So I asked God to open my eyes with everything that is going on, including my job, period. Because I knew some things were transitioning. Some things just did not make sense, like little red flags going on. Say, God, just please reveal to me what is happening. There's a lot of changes going on around me. I'm not really sure what's going on. Well, we all know I ended up leaving public education, but when he revealed to me what was truly going on in the public school setting and where all that was leading to, and it was only going to get worse in the public school, and that was just not the place for me. and that he was going to use me as a voice to advocate for these kids, that I couldn't do it on the inside of the classroom because, as a teacher, your hands are tied. So I had to fight for them on the outside of school. So he said, I'm going to be using you in a bigger and better way. Unfortunately, you have to leave your position of what you've been doing for 17 years. When God pulls you from something that you're so accustomed to, that you're so used to, you're scared to change. You're like, wait a second, this is all I identify with. This is all I've done. This is what I love to do. It was scary. It was a big change. Could I have curled up in a ball and said, no, God, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to stick with what I'm comfortable with? Absolutely. I would have been great. It's great money. It's great benefits. But you have to get out of your comfort zone to really find out who you are. And you have to get out of your comfort zone to truly find out where you belong in life. And if I didn't make that decision all the way back then, that change, I wouldn't have known you. I wouldn't have been involved in everything that I'm involved in today. And I wouldn't have been able to create the change on a local level than what I'm trying to do right now. So when we're talking about creating change, it's you that needs to create that change. And you have to be willing to go outside of your comfort zone in order to be able to find out, like I was saying, who you truly are. You're capable of more than what people give themselves credit for. I mean, look at me. I'm just a regular person, in a small community that if you ask anybody where Macungie is, I mean, like who, where? Nobody's heard of it. Macungie. That's what I always get from people outside the area. What? What? They have no idea. So when we're talking about affecting change or creating change, like I said, be willing to step outside of that box. And yes, it was scary at the very beginning. Who knew what 2 years later would have held? But it takes all of us, really all of us, to speak truths amongst also what we've known to be lies. So
Yeah.
Be brave, be bold, be willing to accept that change because greater things are on the other side. I mean, look at just recently, this past week, my job description that I have right now has changed. It was very scary at first. It's a whole lot more responsibility than what I was taking on. I could have said absolutely not and just said, I'm not willing to accept change. I'm not willing to go this route with this job. And I could have left it. But instead, I chose to embrace the change and said, you know what? I'm going to try my best. Who knows what God has in store for me? And literally, my job description changed within 1 day. And I had 1.5 days to become accustomed to the new position. And I'm going to tell you, if I didn't take that leap of faith, I wouldn't have known how wonderful the new position actually is. And it's really leading me in all kinds of amazing directions of what it could be, where I could end up with this job. So definitely be able to take that leap of faith.
Right.
Embrace the change.
Change is good. Change is good. It's not always bad. And a lot of times we think it's bad. And we're like, this is not the road that I envisioned my life. This is not where I envisioned where I was going. And change can come in all different directions. Change can be exciting. Change can be frustrating. Change can be where you're really angry. Change can be sad. Change can make all of your emotions all over the place. And it can give you anxiety, right? And panic and all of those things. It just depends who you are and really what that change is. Like May of 2021, I heard the word sell your things and follow me. What?
Yep.
What are you talking about? Like that in 2020, my goal was to move. I didn't know where I was moving to. I just knew that I wanted to sell my house and move. We don't go through sudden changes, even though we believe they're sudden. God gives us these little snippets of kind of whispers in our ears, if that makes sense. Gives us these nudges before the big thing happens.
It's true. He does.
And I'm like, okay, now okay, now, all right, well, you know what? He started giving me all of the like, okay, well, now's the time to get the most for my home. Now's the time to see where he's going to lead at this point. And he gave me 6 years ago this, I really want to move to Lancaster County. And 6 years later, he orchestrates every area of our life. He orchestrates every little piece, it's a piece of a puzzle. And he knows exactly who we are, where we're going to be, what we're going to do, the choices that we're going to make. He knows. He knows the beginning all the way to the end, into eternity. He knows it.
And he doesn't leave your side for a second.
No, he doesn't. And I'm telling you, when I tell you my life changed, it wasn't all like boom, homeschool move, switch careers. I mean, it was boom, boom, boom within a span of months, but not in a single day, right?
Yes.
However, that was a really short period of time. I started homeschooling with a Christian homeschool. 2 out of the 3 of my kids are still in school. And so I now have 4, though, because I have a daughter-in-law. So I inherited her. But so technically I have 2 daughters and 2 sons now. But my point in saying this is that even then, like my son graduated in 2020. He literally graduated, got engaged, bought a house, got married within 6 months. And then you fast forward, right, to me just a few months later, pulled my kids out of public school, enrolled them in homeschool, or actually no, enrolled them in homeschool, pulled them out of public school, right, because that's the right way to do it, by the way. For those of you, please enroll your child into school before you pull them from another one. I'm just making that known. You need to do that.
Learning from experience.
For those who don't know, no, actually, it's just knowing people that have done it the other way. You can't do that. You need to follow the system or you can get in trouble for that. So, yeah, you need to make sure you do that. Anyway, enroll my kids into a private school, pulled them out of public school. Okay, timeline. 5 months later, sell your things and follow me. House up for sale. Sold in 2 days. 8 showings, 5 offers. Done. Where are we going?
Always listen to him. When he says
no idea where we're going. And it's not that we weren't looking. Or I wasn't looking. My kids really weren't looking. They were like trusting, Mom's got this. Okay. I looked for a while. Right? Do you remember? It might have been like.
You were sending me a lot of pictures of a lot of different places you were looking at and saying, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Wait, what about this? So it was a long process. Yes.
And the crazy part about it is that I knew I was looking even at stuff in like Lebanon County because there wasn't anything in Berks. Now, was I planning on moving? No, to Berks. No, I didn't want to. But I wasn't closed to everything. I was like, we just need a place. This is where I want to go. This is where I feel led to go. Not even want to, just led. And everything that I looked at in like Lebanon County, I just kept, no. I mean, I'll look like, oh, that's nice. But I didn't feel that tug. And there was absolutely nothing in Berks. I mean, boring Berks County.
But notice the place that came up for you, though, at the exact time you needed it. And the perfect place.
The weird,
God knew.
Then that was so crazy, Rach. What were my plans?
I love that. Yes, your plans. Actually, talk to them about that.
My plans were, all right, so I'm going to move right on the edge of Berks and Lancaster County. So this way, my kids still go back and forth, right? See their dad. So I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Ephrata, Leola. Then I started expanding. Lidditz. Okay, Lidditz is a little further in, but it'll work. Then it was Oh, Denver. Okay,
Denver.
Denver's like literally Berks County, like line, literally, right? And I'm like, and there's this little town called Stevens, if anybody's ever heard of it. It's next to Denver. And this is all Lancaster County, but it's like right on the edge of, it's like Berks, Lancaster County line, close to it.
Yes. You were trying to look on the outskirts first before. Go ahead.
So that's where I was. I'm like, okay. And I'm like mapping out distance, all this stuff. And this house fell through. That was in Ephrata. And that was the one I had my eyes on. I'm like, it's this one. It's this one. We've got this. I say they made me believe that I had it. But at the same time, I think it was more of convincing myself that I was going to be number one out of like, I don't know, 7 people.
And then that one fell through. It wasn't meant for you.
No. And then 4 other ones fell through in that same area. There was a place in Elizabethtown. And I'm like, Elizabethtown? God, isn't that near Hershey? Like, that's seriously Lancaster County? And I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's super cute. Like, that looks like a cute area. Long story short, went to go see it. And Carissa, my daughter, came with me. And she literally was like, Mom, this is it. I'm like, it is 45 minutes away, 50 minutes away from the old house, but 45 minutes away, traveling time to go back and forth. And she's like, Mom, I just feel like this is it. We get a phone call that I was like second runner up. If the first deal fell through, we were gonna get it. I would have been it. So then they told us about, he said, or, you can stop gambling. Because for those of you who, I decided I wasn't buying again. So even rental properties were insanity, still are to this day. But you know what's really interesting is I didn't want to own again. I owned for 20 years of my life. I just was done I'm done. Like, I just want to not have to worry about anything breaking, anything going wrong. Like, I need to breathe. I don't want to shovel snow. I don't want to mow the grass. Not that I would do that. I have sons for that. Now it's passed on to the second one. The point in sharing this with you is that was a crazy time. And I thought, plus I have a plan. I have a plan. I really want to move to Florida in 4 years. So, it doesn't make sense to go through all that hassle and buy at the top of the bubble and all of that. God is so amazing when he pulls things together because he's like, listen, we got new construction homes. I said, okay. He said, right up the street, same development, very similar layout. The layout was not similar, but whatever. It's very pretty. And I thought, okay, and it's the space. It's what we need. I said, let me pray about it. Give me half an hour. When do you need to know? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Long story short, I went to my kids. I said, God, you're crazy. And then I went to my kids, each individual, and they both said the same thing. Where's your faith? God's got this. Because, it was more a month that I'm like, oh my God, you've got to be out of your mind. Like, this is not. Never in a million years did I wish for it? Did I imagine that I would be on this side of Lancaster County? That's not what my plan was. When God moves, you need to move. Mm-hmm. And if you don't move, there's going to be more bumps along the way, because eventually he's going to bring you right back here again. Because when you don't learn, and even when this even happens when it comes to lessons, how many times have you felt like you had to learn a lesson? Like 5 times.
I'll admit it.
Right? 10. You keep going around the same detour.
Yes.
Like I was kidding the other day. I was in the car and I said, my life is a detour.
Mm-hmm.
My life is a detour. I take the detour route over and over again. And it's kind of like paying those high gas prices because when you take a detour route, you actually are wasting more time and money.
Mm-hmm. It's true. And I think God presents us with change, with opportunities to see and test our faith. Are you going to follow me? Are you going to pick up your cross and follow me? Are you going to have complete and total faith that I have your future in my hands? You just have to take that leap of faith and know that God's got you, no matter what the situation, no matter what the change is in front of you. Like I said, the past week with this new job opportunity, you got to take that leap of faith and know God has got you every single step of the way. And he will lead you to where eventually he needs you to end up. Take that leap of faith. Trust the change. It's not always a bad thing. He's always trying to test you. Do we trust him? Are we going to hold his hand, or are we going to try to figure it out ourselves? Plain and simple. Oh, and I see the boss.
Doug said howdy. Or said, "What's up, Doug?"
Good
Yeah,
morning,
everybody just went, "Oh."
Yeah, it's like, oh, distraction
That's
from
fun.
us. Now all onto him.
I missed everybody else's comment before that, but sorry.
Hey, you distracted her. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dar. I didn't even know Dar was on. Hi, Dar. Good morning, Dar.
Oh,
This is actually fun, actually being on longer than half an hour before I had to be at meetings. So this is good.
Nobody questioned why we weren't on last week. They're probably like, oh, okay, something came up. Yeah, it was
sorry, it was all me.
For the day.
It was me. I had meetings I had to go to. And I'm still getting messages throughout this morning show from work. So it's all good. I see them come up. There's nothing important. I can still pay attention.
Oh my god.
You know my attention span. It's all good.
It's so funny.
I know, Tara. I'm so stealth. It's good.
It's so neat to be here on a Friday morning. I do like it. I do like going live. Again, I don't know how long we're going to be on here for. I figured we would try it again. Like, see how this pans out, see how it goes. It's interesting the things that you're like that tug on you at certain times. And sometimes things are just for a season. Sometimes they're for a season and then you go back to certain thing for a season. Or you just have a whole new season come. Like life is full of seasons. I'm not talking about spring, summer, and fall. I'm talking about seasons of your life.
Mm-hmm. And when you contact me and said, hey, do you want to do this again? I'm like, wow, we haven't done this in a very long time.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Mark said, keep it up. Dar just said, I tried to like Doug's comment and almost hit report.
Don't report his comment.
Oh my gosh. I've already done that. Like, not like I almost did the same. I've done that before. And I'm like, oh, no.
Don't do that.
Wrong button. Not, I'm just saying in general. I don't even remember who it was.
Doug says Freudian. Oh, I can't even. It's a Friday morning. After this week, I've officially lost it. We're good.
But I think, as far as to wrap things up on change, because we just went and squirreled like we usually do, but it's fine. It's fine. It keeps things interesting.
It's good.
But I believe that we need to be more adaptive to change. We need to be more open to change. We need to welcome change because change is how we grow. If we stayed in the exact same status quo for all of our lives and nothing ever changed, then oh no. Justin said a friend's mother died and I accidentally put a laughing face instead of a crying face. You're not alone. I'm sure that we can all relate to something like that. I did that too.
I
I'm
did
like,
that
oh
to
no,
one of
no,
Doug's
that's
posts.
not what I meant.
And it was actually one of Doug's posts on Danny Goki, and I put a mad face. And I was like, wait, what in the world happened?
It happens to all
What
of us.
happened?
It's fine. Just change it quick.
I went to love. It's all good. Just change it quickly to love.
Change it quick before they get the notification.
I'm sure they would know if I put a mad face on anything of Doug or Danny. They'd be like, no, that's a mistake. It's all good.
Well, they get the notification anyway. That's fine. If they see that it's okay, somebody bumped something. It's human. Anyway, change. I just totally squirreled there. Big time. We need to welcome change. We grow through change. We become who God wants us to be through change. If we allow it. That's another thing. If we allow it, I believe that some people turn to more negative during change versus positive. So you have to allow it. You have to welcome it. You have to just endure, just take it, endure it, accept it. It is what it is. Because there's a reason for everything. Everything that happens to us, there's a reason for it. And I know that sometimes, I'm just going to say it right on live, it sucks. Because we're like, I don't understand. And we don't understand, but we don't understand what we don't understand. We're not supposed to yet. But why? If we understood everything that happened to us, would there be faith?
I always know if there's change, God is up to something. Pretty much. If something big happens to you and you're not expecting it, God's using you for something. God's preparing you for something. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Oh, even look, Dar said it. Sorry, I just saw Dar's comment.
I see Raylene's post or comment too. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just saw that I can't speak today. Dar just said the same thing. God is doing something.
Yeah.
God is up to something. So this
Megan
past week, I could have said,
must choose it.
Yeah. Like I said, this past week, I could have just completely been like, I'm not doing this big change. It's a whole lot more responsibility. I could have just left. Instead, I chose to pray and take God's hand.
So, who gave you that advice?
You. You and God. God said patience. God said wait. God
but I said to you,
something.
Don't make a decision off of emotion right now. You need to pray about it. And what was your response? I did pray about it.
I was mad. Are you kidding me? It was a whole lot.
I'm like, no, you didn't. You prayed with emotion. You need to pray and then listen.
Yes. And right after we got done talking, I prayed and prayed. And God reveals a whole lot to you when you pray. He does. And that's the first thing we want to go to is emotion. Is why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? Why is this being presented in front of me? I didn't do anything. And you get mad and you get frustrated and you don't go to God. And that's the first and foremost thing we always should do is go to God in prayer. And when you go to God in prayer, he really does reveal a whole lot and he makes you feel so much better. And he gave me a peace that surpassed any understanding. And then I went in to the new position and I've loved every single second of it. If you would ask me that last week, I would have laughed at you. No.
Yeah. He knows best. Raylene said something. I wanted to read her comment earlier before I forget again. Speaking of change, after being in direct sales for 41 years, my business took a huge dive in 2020. However, if it hadn't, I wouldn't have had the time I have now to focus on our future governor. And, again, that's a big change. Raylene, I get it.
Yep. And if it wouldn't have been for the change for me, I wouldn't have been able to do what I have been doing for our future governor the past couple of weeks and been able to volunteer at all the events and help out at all the events and hosting events. And it's just been, God is good. God is good. So embrace the change. You never know what lies ahead. Like I said, if it wasn't for this new position, I wouldn't have been able to be flexible and have been able to do all this stuff for the campaign. So it's been an amazing opportunity.
Change can
Me with the
hurt.
flexibility.
Change can be exciting. It can be frustrating. It can also hurt, right? Why am I going through this? I don't understand. We need to stop focusing on why me, and go, thank you for choosing me for whatever it is that you have in store for my life, for you to put me through this. When you switch your mindset, when you switch the way that you think, thank you for allowing this to happen, because I know that my future is greater and brighter. Because let's face it, God does not, allow things to happen to us if there wasn't a bigger, better plan that he designed.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Even when it's hard. I've gone through a lot of hard, rough times in my life. And I know that I'm not alone. And I know I'm speaking to so many of you right now. We all go through pain. We all go through hurt. If you don't know the song Relate for King and Country, you need to listen to it. And you need to listen really good. Because how many of us have always said, you don't know what it's like to be me. You don't know what it's like. You're not me. No. We may not have endured the same thing that you have. But pain and hurt don't feel different.
Yep.
Pain is pain. Hurt is hurt. A broken heart is a broken heart. Loneliness, joy, happiness on the opposite side. All of those things, we all feel the same thing. We all feel the same way. It doesn't have a different feeling. Okay? What does that mean? That means we can all relate to each other. We can all relate and say, listen, let's pick ourselves back up.
Exactly.
And you know what? Move forward anyway. Do it anyway. It doesn't matter. Change is okay.
Yes.
Change is change. And
lyrics to songs: stand in faith, walk by faith, receive in faith.
Danny Gokey.
I didn't mention the name. I just mentioned lyrics.
I had to, because I'm like, no, it's got to be. So for
I find my ways to bring him in.
I'm going to make this announcement real quick. I am, speaking of change, excited change. My daughter has a crush. We've all had those crushes. And even as adults, some of our friends still have those crushes.
I wonder who you're talking about.
I know. I think her name's Rachel. So
it's all good. We're all allowed one celebrity, all right?
Yeah. And it was awesome. So at Doug's event, we did it again. We got Danny Gokey to sing at his event in the beginning and the end, and then even the end. Like he came back on again. And it was so cool to see the look on my daughter's face. And
I thought you were going to say my face.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool too. But I mean, you think about a 14-year-old girl that has this, think about it. I remember being 14. I look back and I'm like, oh gosh, it was just yesterday. And I have a daughter who's that old. Mm-hmm. But we have amazing people surrounding us. And I don't know if Val's watching right now, but I'm going to thank you publicly, Val, for what you've done. Nobody asked for it. I didn't ask. Carissa didn't ask. Nothing was even requested of anything. It was just, oh my gosh, Danny's going to be at the Spooky Nook in Lancaster, 15 minutes from our house. We need to go. And when we found that out, it was just, we just need to go. Now, of course, Carissa has been praying that she eventually gets to meet him and talk to him and get his autograph and all of these things. Praying. I mean, we might have made mention it would be cool. I don't even know anymore. I don't remember. Val, I mean, you can tell me. I mean, I don't, whatever, but there was never like a solid conversation of in depth. You know what I mean? It was all Carissa praying. I was on the phone with Val. Oh, by the way, power and prayer. He answers the desires of our hearts. We thought, listen, when I say 14, she will be 14 in a couple weeks. Her birthday is actually on April 3rd. Danny Gokey plays in Knoxville, Tennessee on April 3rd, literally the day on her birthday. And she saw this, you know, because we came back from Gettysburg and she saw him the first time and she is looking at his schedule. And I said, well, the closest one is Knoxville, Tennessee. It's like 8-hour drive. But I want everybody to be there. I want all of our friends. I think we should all go together, like all of this.
I still say we go.
And I said, I don't know, Carissa, like, I don't think that's going to happen. We'll try it. We'll figure it out. I'll see what I can do. And she's like, well, I really wish that he would just come back to Pennsylvania. That would make it easier on you and everybody else. I said, you need to pray about that then. Why is it? Listen, his schedule's already laid out.
Mm-hmm.
What would make me say we need to pray about that then? All of a sudden, what? I don't know, a couple days later, a week later, it wasn't long after, you said on this show, Danny Gokey's going to be at Doug's event at Spooky Nook. I'm paraphrasing if I said it a little bit different, but you made that announcement and Carissa was on here. Oh my God, like she was so excited. Do you know that girl's faith just totally went because answered prayer?
Mm-hmm. Now she's a lifelong Gokey fan.
I am just amazed, though, at how that worked, though. Because think, she prayed also to meet him, to have a conversation, to get his autograph. And I'm on the phone with Val one night, and she says, I have a surprise for Carissa. This is what we're doing. Jeff, ordered these pictures. He, because I said, well, we need to do something where he can autograph it then if we do this. Oh, no, Jeff already did that. He took care of it. And we don't know how it's going to work out. Don't tell her. We want to make sure that it actually happens. But we'll do whatever it takes kind of thing, right? So anyway, long story short, we get there and she pulls us up to the VIP and she said, act like you belong. Okay. Listen, I belong everywhere when it comes to this crew. No problems here. Danny was supposed to come up and it ended up that they were practicing for too long. He got she comes over. He's in the shower. Okay. Okay, awesome. He's in the so is he coming? I don't know. It was just we're trying, right? Carissa's like, what's going on? I don't understand. Like, she was so clueless, like kind of clueless. Like she had an idea, but she was still like, what is really going on? Because Val and I were being like real discreet about it, not talking to her, not telling her. Jeff, of course, was not saying a word because he's super quiet to begin with. So everybody like zipped, right? So we're mingling, we're talking. We got our picture with Doug and Rebby, and it was amazing. It was so much fun to experience that and to have, I'm just in awe at this point that we have amazing friends that are willing to go above and beyond, know the desires of our hearts, know what we like. That would make us happy because it makes me happy to make other people happy. When you give, it puts a smile on your face. And it's so awesome to see the back and forth with this group of people, our friends that I now call our extended family, because I've never experienced anything like this before. I've experienced a little bit many years ago. I told you guys, I worked in the travel industry. That group, we went on vacations together. We laughed together. We did all those things. It's kind of cool though to like, we all live like right here in PA, and that's what's neat. And if we want to get together, we need to help each other's help, like physically be there for them. We can do that. Long story short, changed. All of a sudden, she's like, he's not. Plan B. He's not going to be able to come up. We're going to go downstairs. We're going to do it at the end. Oh, by the way, in the meantime, Val got her sister to save us seats so that we could be near the front or in the front, because then we got pulled up to dance, and then Danny comes off stage, stands right next to Carissa, and they take a big group picture. I'm like, what? I had no idea that was happening. The point is this all happened right at the end, where instead of being a big group in a big room of people where Danny comes into, God orchestrated it for Carissa to have that private, small, tiny group of people that it was so small. Like, it wasn't because everybody was there and bombarding him. He was there for Carissa and Carissa alone, which was crazy to me. Now, yeah, of course, I talked to him and Val talked to him, and, we're having conversation. But the look on her face was just, oh my gosh, this is happening. He just walked through the room in his sweats and his sandals and socks. I mean, because he forgot. So
makes him even cuter. Nothing wrong with the socks.
What?
Nothing wrong with the socks. It makes them
socks
cuter.
And sandals.
It's all good.
I had a neighbor back when
he's got his own style.
Huh?
He's got his own style, and he's proud of it.
I feel like a lot of people wear that, though, too. I remember my neighbor, I bought, my ex-husband and I bought our first house. And I was, how old was I? 20 years old? And I don't know, a year later, the house went up for sale. All new neighbors moved in. And every single day he'd walk out to get his mail, he was in socks and sandals, and it didn't matter if he had his boxers on. I'm not kidding.
Interesting.
And I was like, what? Oh, I can't. Whatever. He ended up being a good friend of ours, him and his wife at the time. And they were good friends of ours. And, but it was always a joke. So, because we were like, you really are an old man,
In all seriousness, I really do. I'm so grateful to Val too, for her to have that experience with Danny, that she's able to get, meet the guy that she has the crush on. You're welcome, by the way.
And by the way, yeah, if it weren't for you initially to get him to Gettysburg, see what I mean by orchestrating?
The January 8th. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yes.
Yeah, January 8th in Gettysburg for when Doug announced governor, you reached out to Danny's manager.
Yeah.
And so you started this Danny coming to Pennsylvania. But I think what's amazing is all of the orchestration that goes into every little detail. Mm-hmm. If we really sit back and we look at every little thing that gets us to where God wants us to be, then we can embrace that. We can embrace it. And that's the word that I was looking for earlier. So if I said endure, there was definitely a time I needed to use that word, but it was embrace is really the word I was looking for at another point in this live. Embrace it. Welcome it. It's okay. Because the reality is we can go, all right, God's up to something, and I'm excited.
Absolutely.
So again, instead of complaining, and again, I'm guilty of that. I do the same thing. I'm irritated. I'm angry. Why is this happening? Right? But then again, we got to go, wait a minute. God's up to something, and I'm excited to see what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and go down this path, because nothing lasts forever. Everything is temporary, including life itself here on earth. Because eternity is in heaven. But everything on this earth is temporary. Everything.
Yes, it is.
And nothing lasts forever on the earth. So that is all I have to say about change. Welcome it. Embrace it. Understand that.
Megan says she loves Danny too. See, I'm not the only one.
I was at both rallies. Why don't I ever see you, Megan? I see a lot of your posts. Love your posts. You're very inspiring. As you can probably see, I do take some of them. I'm like, ooh, that's good. Save. Like your little memes. I need to meet you, and we need to figure something out because I've been thinking about that, and you've been on these shows too. And now we have more in common.
Now we can all go down to Tennessee.
Jeez.
April 3rd. Krista would love it.
If I remember correctly, you were the one that was complaining about the drive.
Yeah, but I think he's with Newsboys, so I would also love to see Newsboys too. They're my second favorite. I know I don't talk about anybody else but him, but Newsboys is also good. I do have others I like. Contrary to popular belief, there is other Christian music artists I actually listen to besides Danny. Even though he's on repeat in my car. I do listen to others. Newsboys are really good. And Unspoken, Mandisa, they're all good. King and Country, I could go on.
I'm searching
for
who Danny plays.
It's Newsboys, and
is it? Oh, it is. Mac Powell and Adam Agree.
That's it. Mac Powell too. I knew there was one other.
Agee. So Newsboys, Danny Gokey, Mac Powell, and Adam Agee. I don't know who. Mac Powell sounds familiar. Excuse me.
Let me know if you want to make a trip down. I really want to see Newsboys. I haven't seen them since Winter Jam when they played in Reading. Of course, Danny was there, and Mandisa. And I think it was actually Rent Collective. That was one time I actually saw them. Was when they were at Winter Jam, and they were really good.
So they are playing that's 7:00. We only have 36 tickets remaining, is what it says on Ticketmaster.
Do they still have meet and greets? Audio Adrenaline Dar is good too. Yes.
I don't think so.
Darn.
We'll look later. I'm done looking.
We'll talk.
So, yeah.
Yes, Rachel, I so wish I could make it out to Saturday's rally in Gettysburg. It's going to be amazing. I would love to see Mike Lindell as well. Unfortunately, my niece's birthday party is that day. I was originally scheduled to volunteer at that event, and then my husband was like, it's your niece's birthday party. Do you remember? Oh, yeah.
Megan said she'd reach out next time she goes to the next rally, so cool.
So I hope everybody has a wonderful time on Saturday. It's going to be an amazing event. It really is.
Saturday's event. What's this one?
That's the election integrity that he's going to be at in Gettysburg. I can send you all the info if you can go.
Yeah, that's the one I can't make that one. That's right. That's this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At 1:00.
Crap. Okay.
I'm going to switch Gettysburg and my side of the state closer together so that I can make both events, my niece's birthday party and the election integrity event. Then I can do both. But we can't help the distance.
So what is your plan? What are you doing? The event or
my niece's birthday
party? Your niece's birthday party. Oh, so you won't be there either.
That's what I said. I was originally slated to go and volunteer, but if they were closer together, I could make both events, but not with 2.5 hours distance in between.
No.
I wish I could go. Like I said, it's going to be amazing. I really wish I could go and listen to the speakers there. Something I'm very passionate about, election integrity. I want to go and listen to see what they have to say and see Mike Lindell and Doug. Sorry. Doug too.
Doug's a given. Like,
yes,
we know
Doug's a given. Sorry.
Doug's always a given.
Yes.
I
didn't see a faux pas. Look at that. He's already given. We all know anyways.
I still love seeing him and Rebby.
Yes. Rebby is an amazing woman of God. I absolutely adore her. She is amazing. And literally any time that you need her to pray with you, she will stop and she will pray with you. She's just amazing. Love that woman.
All right,
Really, she is
girlfriend.
the backbone of a lot.
She is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she is. I
Don't
love
they
her
say
smile.
behind every man is a good woman? That's her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Behind every successful good man is a good woman. I think, or something like that.
And she truly does it. She truly does. She has a heart of gold. And she's just amazing.
We are going to have to end this today. Oh, gosh. We only 1 hour, 6 minutes. It's 9:10.
Well, I don't have to be in class until 10, so we're good.
All right. Well, I guess we are going to end today's show. I do want to go ahead and share this real quick with you guys. If you know any small businesses that want to or need to save money on their credit card processing fees, support local, guys. Stop supporting like all of these big box. Square is another big one. Stripe. Small businesses, you can eliminate your credit card processing fees and you can support local. Even if you're not local, like you're in a different state and we know each other, you're still supporting a small business versus somebody who's, big businesses that are making billions and who knows what they're doing with your money, right? So on top of that, you get to save thousands of dollars. Literally thousands of dollars. There is a business that I am working on right now. We're going to be saving them between 30, depending on how much they process, between $30,000 and $40,000 a year. That can pay an employee.
Yes, it can.
Okay. That can be your next vacation. Whatever. Okay. Many vacations, actually. I mean, I don't know what you would. I'm just saying, like, that's a lot of money. Small businesses should not be paying all of those processing fees. So please reach out to me. If you don't own a small business or a medium-sized business, and you know someone that does, give them my information. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway,
I just saw Dar's comment. I agree, Dar. She is definitely strong and selfless. She absolutely is. That is the perfect description for her. Couldn't agree more.
Oh, Rebby. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Okay. Get over your fears, find your confidence in the next 60 to 90 days, and book a free breakthrough call on my website. Go to findyourpurposeandshine.com. My story's on there too. You can check it out. So other than that, I think we are going to see. This has to be easier to maneuver sometimes so that I can get the outro ready.
There you go. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. For those of you who are going to the election integrity rally, have a great time. I wish I was going. You're going to learn a lot of awesome information and be able to see the future governor. So have fun. Have a great weekend. And we will see you here next Friday at 8 a.m.
Okay.
See you next
week.
Yes, and we will talk to you soon, Angie.
All right. See you, Rachel.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.